Do you still feel that pain that torments you day and night? That suffering that now seems part of your identity? That constant shadow that follows you everywhere and darkens even moments that should be full of light? Have you tried medications, therapies, consultations, remedies of all kinds? But that sharp pain, that weight, that torment continues to whisper that there's no way out. It's no coincidence that you're listening to this prayer today. In the spiritual universe, a powerful healing energy is about to awaken within you, ready to flow through every suffering cell in your body and every wounded corner of your soul. This is not a simple prayer. It's a divine channel through which the healing force of the universe is about to manifest in your physical and emotional reality. That pain that has accompanied you for so long that you now consider it part of you. That suffering that has painted your days gray and stolen the quality of your life. All of this is about to meet a force more ancient, more powerful, more determined, a force that reminds pain it has no permanent right of residence in your body, a force that whispers to suffering that its time has expired, a force that declares to illness that it has the wrong address. If you feel these words are already creating a subtle tremor of hope inside you, if you perceive even just a spark of relief igniting in the darkness of your pain, write in the comments, "I receive my divine healing," and allow this declaration of faith to become the first concrete step toward your total liberation from the pain that has held you prisoner for too long. Oh, Heavenly Father, divine source of all healing, I turn to you in this moment of deep need, you who created this body as a divine temple. You who know every cell, every nerve, every tissue, every emotion that passes through it. Turn your merciful gaze upon this suffering child who implores your healing intervention. Your presence is like a celestial balm that begins to flow from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet, enveloping every part of me with that unconditional love which is the most powerful medicine in the universe. I prostrate myself before your infinite majesty with humility and trust, knowing that for you nothing is impossible, that no disease is incurable, that no pain is too deeply rooted to be dissolved by your grace. Your divine touch can, in an instant, restructure what has been damaged, balance what has been unbalanced, purify what has been contaminated, awaken what has been numbed by pain. O Almighty Father, you see beyond appearances and understand that many of my physical sufferings have roots that sink into the soil of my soul. Your eyes of infinite compassion see the unprocessed emotional traumas that have crystallized into physical pain, the heart wounds that have hardened my muscles, the unspoken words that have created knots in my tissues, the unforgiven offenses that have inflamed my body where medicine sees only symptoms. You see the deep causes where specialists see only a physical condition. You see the entire tapestry of my existence and how each thread interweaves to create the complete picture of my health with your light of truth. Illuminate those dark areas of my soul where emotional pain has settled over the years, layer after layer, until becoming physical pain. Show me how my repressed anger has tensed my muscles to chronic rigidity, how my guilt has weakened my immune defenses, how my fears have accelerated my heart to exhaustion, how my grudges have acidified my bodily fluids, how my sorrows have slowed my metabolism. Help me see the invisible connections between my emotional state and my physical condition, so that healing can proceed simultaneously on both levels. O Lord of life and health, with your divine breath, blow away every particle of pain from this body, from this mind, from this soul as the wind sweeps away dry leaves. May your celestial breath disperse every diseased cell, every toxic thought, every stagnant emotion that contributes to my painful condition. Every breath I take now becomes a living prayer, introducing oxygen charged with your healing power into my cells and releasing all toxins accumulated from suffering. Divine Father, stretch your almighty hand over every area of my body affected by pain. Where there is inflammation, bring your celestial cooling. Where there are tensions, bring your divine relaxation. Where there are energy blockages, restore the harmonious flow of life. Where there are degenerated cells, restore the divine order of your original design. where pain has created memory in my cells. Reprogram them with the memory of their perfect state in your creative vision. Touch with your divine fingers my spine, realigning each vertebra to its optimal position, freeing every compressed nerve, restoring the perfect flow of vital energy through this sacred channel that supports my entire being. Your healing energy flows like a river of golden light along my spine, from the base of my skull to my sacrum, dissolving tensions accumulated through years of stress, physical traumas, incorrect postures, and emotional burdens. Oh Lord, wrap my painful joints in the balm of your compassion. Penetrate with your healing light into my knees, my hips, my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists, into every small joint of my hands and feet that cries out in agony. Dissolve every deposit of toxins, every crystallization of acids, every restriction of movement, every inflammation that limits the freedom for which you designed these wonderful hinges of my body. Restore the flexibility, fluidity, and joy in movement that is part of your sacred gift of life. Father of mercy, place your divine hands on my tense and painful muscles with the touch that has shaped mountains, yet is so gentle as to care for even the smallest wildflower. Massage every contracted fiber, every spasming bundle, every trigger point that radiates pain like concentric waves through my body. Dissolve those muscular armors I've created to protect myself from life's wounds, those tensions that have become my second skin, those knots that tell stories of unprocessed stress, unfaced fears, unintegrated traumas. Oh divine healer, penetrate into the deep tissues of my body where pain hides its roots. Reach with your light those areas that no massage can touch, those connective tissues that accumulate memories of pain, those fascia that tighten and create compressions when soaked with unprocessed emotions. Your healing energy spreads like blessed oil through every layer of my physical being: skin, muscles, tendons, ligaments, bones, organs, bringing deep relaxation, cellular nourishment, and restoration of original functionality. Heavenly Father, with your supreme authority, command my hyperactive nervous system to find rest in your peace. Calm these hypersensitive nerves that scream at the slightest stimulus. These pain receptors that have become so reactive they sound alarms for threats long past. These neural circuits that perpetuate cycles of chronic pain restore balance between my sympathetic and parasympathetic systems, between the state of alert and the state of rest, between necessary vigilance and regenerative relaxation. O Lord of healing, direct your loving attention to my confused and fatigued immune system where it has attacked my own body, creating autoimmune diseases. Return it to the correct discrimination between self and non-self, where it has weakened, allowing inflammatory processes to become chronic. Strengthen it with your divine vigor, where it has become hyperreactive, triggering allergies and hypersensitivities. Return it to a balanced and appropriate response. Your infinite wisdom reprograms every immune cell to its original function of intelligent and selective protection, not indiscriminate attack. Divine therapist, with your knowledge that transcends all human science, balance my disharmonious hormones that contribute to my painful state. Balance the stress hormones that keep my body in a constant state of alertness and tension. Normalize the inflammatory hormones that fuel the fire of pain. Harmonize the sex hormones whose imbalance is reflected in cyclical or chronic pain. Optimize the thyroid hormones that regulate my metabolism and energy. Your wise hand adjusts those delicate dials of my endocrine system, restoring the perfect hormonal symphony that supports the health of every cell. O Lord, divine master alchemist, transmute the biochemistry of my body that perpetuates the cycle of pain where there is excessive acidity. Restore alkalinity where there are free radicals damaging tissues. Send celestial antioxidants where natural endorphins are lacking. Stimulate their production where stress neurotransmitters dominate. Increase those of well-being. Enjoy your divine laboratory within my cells. Now produces all the substances necessary to extinguish the fires of pain and rekindle the lights of vitality. Father of light, radiate your healing energy through the energy centers of my body where there are blockages. Dissolve them. Where there is stagnation, reactivate the flow. Where there is excess, bring balance. Where there is depletion, recharge with your vital force from the first chakra that anchors me to earth to the seventh that connects me to heaven. A cascade of purifying light washes away every residue of pain, every memory of suffering, every crystallization of trauma that has altered my energy field, and then manifested as pain in my physical body. O divine restorer, repair the damage that chronic pain has inflicted on my brain, where it has created neural grooves of suffering ever deeper. Trace new pathways of well-being. Where it has modified my perception, amplifying every sensation into agony, recalibrate it to the right sensitivity. Where it has connected innocent daily stimuli to pain reactions through traumatic associations. Dissolve these erroneous connections. Your divine touch restores the neuroplasticity of my brain, allowing it to unlearn pain and relearn the language of health and vitality. Merciful Father, heal also that meta pain, which is the suffering of living with chronic pain. Alleviate that secondary but no less oppressive weight. The frustration for activities I can no longer perform. The sadness for simple pleasures that have been taken from me. The discouragement for failed treatments. The anxiety for an imagined future increasingly limited. The social isolation that often accompanies a condition invisible to others, but all-encompassing for those who live it. Your infinite compassion embraces not only my physical pain, but also all the losses, griefs, and limitations it has brought into my life. O Lord of wholeness, as you heal my body, also heal my relationships damaged by chronic pain. Restore my ability to connect with others without the constant filter of suffering. Free my loved ones from the burden of being caregivers instead of simply partners, children, friends. Dissolve the resentment that can arise in me when I feel misunderstood in my condition, or in them when they feel helpless in the face of my suffering. Your healing grace extends like concentric circles from my physical body to the entire ecosystem of my relationships. Father of abundant life, repair also my relationship with work and sense of purpose, compromised by persistent pain. Reawaken me to the possibility of contributing to the world in new ways, perhaps different from before but no less meaningful. Rekindle in me that spark of creativity that pain has dimmed. Restore my ability to concentrate that suffering has fragmented. Revive the joy of service that gives meaning to my days beyond mere survival between one episode of pain and another. Your vital breath reanimates those parts of me that have fallen asleep under the oppressive weight of pain. O divine comforter, heal also my relationship with time altered by the chronicity of pain. Free me from living in an eternal present of suffering, where the past without pain seems like an unreachable lost. Paradise in the future appears as an infinite expanse of the same agony. Release me from the tyranny of the calendar marked by good days and bad days. Redeem me from the obsession of counting hours of relief or suffering. Your eternal love anchors me again to the natural flow of time as a precious gift, not as an enemy or jailer. Father of infinite wisdom, transform also my relationship with this pain while I await its complete dissolution. Teach me not to identify with it, not to define myself through it, not to let myself be consumed by the obsession to eliminate it at all costs. Show me how to move through it instead of resisting it, how to observe it without judgment instead of fighting it with tension that amplifies it, how to welcome it as a temporary teacher instead of cursing it as a permanent enemy. Your divine perspective elevates me above my suffering, allowing me to see it from above, as part of my journey, but not as my identity. O Lord of transformation, as you free me from physical and emotional pain, do not allow this suffering to have been in vain. Extract from this experience the hidden gifts it has brought with it, the deeper compassion for those who suffer, the patience forged in waiting for relief, the intensified gratitude for moments without pain, the mindful presence in the here and now that suffering has forced me to learn, the inner strength developed through trials that seemed impossible to overcome. Your divine alchemy transmutes even the lead of this suffering into the gold of wisdom that will enrich the rest of my life. Loving Father, as you continue to pour your healing energy into my body, mind, and spirit. I feel the pain beginning to dissolve like fog in the morning sun. That oppressive weight that seemed part of me begins to lift. That penetrating ache that marked my days begins to diminish. That constant tension that colored every experience begins to melt away, breath after breath, moment after moment, cell after cell. Your divine healing replaces pain with well-being, tension with relaxation, suffering with peace, limitation with freedom, O Lord of renewed life. As your healing power continues to work in me, I feel fresh energy flowing again in areas of my body that had become territories of chronic pain. I feel blood circulating freely, bringing nourishment where there was depletion. I feel vital energy flowing without obstacles where there were blockages. I feel my breathing deepening and slowing, nourishing every cell with fresh oxygen and freeing it from the toxins of suffering. A new sense of lightness and vitality gradually spreads from the center of my being to the farthest extremities of my body. Father of abundant grace, as pain dissolves under your divine touch, awaken in me the cellular memory of well-being that is my natural state. Remind my body how it was to live without this constant burden, how it moved with ease and joy, how it functioned without the constant interference of suffering. Restore that feeling of being at home in my body instead of feeling prisoner to it, of being supported by it instead of betrayed, of being expressed through it instead of limited, of being in harmony with it instead of at war. O Lord of miracles, as you complete this work of healing in me, seal this transformation with your eternal blessing. Protect this renewed body from relapses into the old pattern of pain. Immunize this healed mind from the tendency to fall back into thoughts of victimhood and despair. Fortify this liberated spirit against the suggestions of a society that often believes chronic pain a definitive sentence. Your protective hand remains on me like an invisible but impenetrable shield against the return of the suffering that today you have dissolved. Heavenly Father, now that you have manifested your healing power in my flesh and spirit, I offer you this renewed body as a temple of your presence, this healed heart as an altar of your love, this liberated mind as an instrument of your purpose, this restored life as a testimony of your infinite grace. May the transformed pain now become active compassion toward those who suffer. May the regained freedom translate into joyful service. May the second chance received bear abundant fruit in the vineyard of life. O divine physician, I thank you from the depths of my heart for the healing you have worked in me today. I praise you for the mercy you have shown toward my suffering, for the power you have deployed against my pain, for the patience with which you have listened to my lament, for the unconditional love with which you have wrapped every aching part of my being. My gratitude rises towards you like fragrant incense, like a song of joy, like a dance of celebration for this liberation that only you could give. I feel that this healing is not just an isolated event, but the beginning of a new season in my life. A chapter of pain closes today, and a new path of possibility and fullness that I no longer dared to hope for opens before me. The weight that has lifted from my shoulders is not only physical, but existential. I feel is not just absence of pain, but presence of a new lightness of being, a new perspective on life, a new awareness of the value of every breath without suffering, Lord. As I conclude this prayer, I feel that what you have begun today will continue to unfold in the days, weeks, and months to come. Your work of healing will proceed silently but relentlessly, layer after layer, level after level, restoring the fullness of health in every dimension of my being. The road to the complete manifestation of this healing may take time in the physical world, but in the spiritual realm it is already accomplished. It is already perfect. It is already reality. I thank you, my divine healer, for freeing me from a pain that seemed destined to accompany me forever. My renewed life will be my offering of thanksgiving. My healed body will be my living sacrifice. My story of healing will be my testimony to your faithfulness. With this new freedom you have given me, I will now walk in the light of your presence, in the joy of your company, In the mission of your kingdom, bringing to others the hope of healing that I myself have received from your loving hands. If this prayer has touched your soul, and you have begun to feel even the slightest hint of relief, know that something powerful has already begun to move in the spiritual world. Healing is a process that, once initiated, continues to work in the depths of your being, but the journey toward complete freedom from pain is just beginning. The next prayer, which is appearing on your screen right now, might be the next step to complete the healing cycle that has been activated in your life today. Click and continue to receive that flow of healing energy that heaven has prepared specifically for you. Your liberation from pain has begun, and nothing can stop this wave of healing that you have invited into your existence today.